What's up, upstanders? Dr. O here. Now, let me be clear about what this video is not. This is not a video to pit pro-Palestine, free Palestine activists with people fighting for liberation in Congo. Anybody who knows me knows that me and my family have been down with all of it. When people like Malcolm or Angela Davis, talked about Palestine and the like, and anybody can see what I've done in terms of, I put out songs about this, written poetry, spoken on this. So don't get it twisted in what I'm about to say and thinking that I'm trying to pit groups against each other or say one's more favor. I'm not here for that. All right. So be clear with that as you comment or share any of even if you disagree with me at all. But this is what was triggered what I'm talking about here. Okay. Now that we got that out the way, my brother was saying that it's amazing that so many people have put on his thread, things relating to Palestine and the like, but have never inquired of him about how he's doing as relates to what's going on in Congo. And I don't believe that it's because people don't know. I think it's honestly because people don't care. I get it with what's happening with Gaza and Palestine and the West Bank and the like. A lot of this has been live streamed in real time, and that's real. And I was talking, I'm probably going to do another video on that after this. And so I get that. And I understand also that there is a kind of deeper betrayal that's felt with what's happening in Gaza, because people literally know that our tax dollars are paying for many of these bombs that are being dropped on, in places in Gaza and Palestine. And so there's a more of a visceral reaction to that. And of course, remember during a lot of the heavy Black Lives Matter protests, when tear gas was being thrown at us in the streets, there were people in Palestine giving advice to us, and via social media, were giving advice to us in the United States about how to handle tear gas. So the solidarity with people like me and people who do this work as activists, it's real and can't be broken. No question about that. Sometimes, however, I know people in my family. Now, my brother triggered this conversation with what he said, but I'm going to talk about me specifically. He can do his own post, and he does. Why, people know my family is Congolese. They know both my parents are from Congo. They know that my father, who went home in 2020, in 2020, was a deep activist. And Amnesty International was putting out reports about what the Congolese government was doing to him, by being in prison and stretched in 4 directions. Like, we don't hide any of it, right? And so, to me, it's amazing that people who I know, friends, so on and so forth, students and so on and so forth, will flood my spaces with things relating to Palestine, but say nothing about what's going on in Congo. And then even when I bring it up, there's no research about what's going on there. And the fact of the matter is, even though there are not receipts of bombs being dropped in Congo from the United States, if you got one of these, or if you're recording on something that I'm using right now, you got materials in there that come from war in the Congo. A place where Oprah called the worst place to be a woman. Just this week, right? Several men broke out of a prison, raped a whole bunch of women, and then burned them to death. And a lot of them are fighting to get access to these minerals that are in your PlayStations, your Xboxes, our phones, all of these different things, our televisions and the like. You ever wonder why you can get an 85-inch flat screen TV for like $50 from these stores? Because the materials are coming in abundance from what many of us call the 3 T's: tin, tantalum, tungsten, then copper. We can have that conversation. And so these things have been filmed. These things have been recorded. The violence has been there. If you are carrying any piece of technology, whatever you're watching this on right now, you're carrying genocide. And this is the second genocide we've experienced at the hands of the Rwandan government. The Rwandan government that's a partner and friend to the United States across all the administrations. Obama did a couple of things, to target, what Kagame was doing, but not enough was done. And right now, through his sponsorship of the M23 rebels, another genocide is happening in Congo. They've taken over part of the Congo, pretty much the size of Rwanda, or something to that effect again. And here we are. And the NBA embraces Kagame as their guy. Masai Ujiri embraces him as sitting for a role at the NBA games. Then I see an interview with Kagame just this past weekend. Are any of your soldiers operating in Congo, Eastern Congo? You know what he said? I don't know. And the lady and the interviewer was like, he's like, you're the president of the country. He's like, I don't know everything. And so my point is this. We need to find common humanity and common ground. The people who are committing these atrocities in different parts of the world, they win when they keep us divided. And you'll never, even I'm sitting here talking about Rwanda. I was in Rwanda in 2018, and I was talking to orphans in Rwanda, people who are orphaned from the Rwandan genocide, and older now and doing work. And some of them are doing work with orphans now who are dealing with different conflicts there. And some of them were Congolese refugees who were on that side of the border. And when I was in Rwanda, I was doing work with Rwandan youth leaders. I was never raised to be the type of person to be like, well, you don't care about me, you don't care about my suffering, so I'm not going to care about your suffering. Because I know that everything affects everything. And I know that we're all in this together. And so I'm going to be talking about Myanmar, or I've already been talking about Myanmar and Palestine and Congo and what's happening with our Native American families across the United States, because that's how we make change in our society. This is one of the reasons Fred Hampton was assassinated with the Black Panthers on December 4th, 1969, because he wasn't just building black communities. He was working with indigenous communities. He was working with Latinos. He was working with white folks in rural parts of Illinois and the like. And if you watch some of the videos, Black Panthers, Vanguards of the Revolution, you can see a white guy, he's like, hey, I know that Fred Hampton's going to stick his word out for us. He's going to stand with us, and I'm going to stand with him. That's what people don't want. That's how we got Jim Crow. You get former enslaved people working with poor whites to rebuild the South and the like. People don't like that. So they build the structure to build on whiteness, pull folks away. That's how they run game on us. And so I believe that there's enough compassion and enough humanity to go around. And especially when we are all profiting off of using resources that are coming from this conflict, we can do more to help call attention to it. We can do more to put organizations like Apple and Microsoft and Intel and all of these places on blast. There was a big movement for this. Organizations like Stand Now and Raise Hope for Congo were doing a lot of work. And of course, Friends of the Congo has been there and is still there doing incredible work. You should definitely be checking out their work. But we need help too. We need help to raise awareness about what's going on. And so I'm going to close with a poem here. I didn't plan on sharing this, and so I didn't really practice it, but I did it. A lot of artists joined me for this album that we put out called Raise Hope for Congo. I know you can find it on Spotify. Mos Def was on it, or Yassine Bey now. Michelle Ndegeocello was on it. There's a lot of other people. Bat for Lashes was on, Angelique Kidjo. So many other people that were on this album. Nora Jones was on it, and Sheryl Crow was on it. I'm not going to keep going down the list, but it was called Raise Hope for Congo, and I had the lead track for the album, and I'm going to read this poem to you. I've written several poems about the Congo, and I've put them on my albums that you can find everywhere: Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your music. But I'm going to share this for y'all who may not know, and my hope is that, hey, you don't know what you don't know. You can't lead where you don't go. You can't teach what you don't know. But now you know, get out there and do something. Get out there and help us. Get out there and use your resources. Get out there, make some art about it. Make a phone call. Like, just do something so we can keep building together. So as I say when I started, this is not an anti-Palestine, care more about them. I know some black folks care more about what's happening in Gaza than what's happening in places like Congo. And that's not right. Right? We should have common humanity for all of it. You would never hear me say black people shouldn't be talking about Palestine. You would never hear me say that. I'm saying let's all build together. And I know several Palestinian people and Palestinian Americans who are calling out what's happening in Congo. So let me not ignore that either. All right, so if you don't really know what's going on, I'm going to read this poem to you. The world's richest country, now the poorest. A chorus of women's cries across a corrupted country in demise. International lies hide the truth of our turmoil. raping our country of our women, tungsten, coltan, and gold. Young girls now a commodity. It's no longer an oddity. Child soldiers watching bullets and not birds fly over their sky, so that we can sit pretty with our PlayStations, laptops, and iPhones. I roam alone across Africa's First World War, starving a continent, yet feeding the globe. Little babies dying so we can have a cell phone and warm home, an Xbox, a TV, a computer, a flat screen, flatlining the dreams of millions of Congolese, never quite able to control their destiny. Mineral gifts turn to curses, body bags with no hearses, babies bouncing from the womb to the tomb in a matter of minutes. But in a minute, you can decide to help turn this tide. Raise your voice for the people. Raise hope for the Congo. Turn your cell phone into a microphone and speak knowledge to your college. Tell these computer companies we need conflict-free products. Realize that you're a fool if you don't check the trail of those jewels. Your diamonds and gold be the fuel to this fire. How can gold become a cancer? I'm looking for an answer. In a land where diamonds are not a girl's best friend, but together working with the Congolese, we can change this direction. If you decide to raise your conscience and each one teach one, reach one in your group and make an army of change, an army of conscious consumers and not soldiers for the same old sympathetic solutions for political and profitable prostitution. The true resolution is empowering our women. The center of our land must be made whole once again. The backbone of our nation must be realigned. When our women can stand proudly, our country will once again have its spine. The heart of our future lies in our young girls. The pride of our lives lies in our young boys. Congo's future lies in all of our hands if you just understand that we're all in this together. So let's all raise hope and take a stand for our land. Help us take a stand. Call out the conflict minerals, the diamonds on your fingers, the rings, the jewels, all of that. Congo, Congo, Congo. Let's all raise hope and take a stand for our land. Also remember, a century ago, it was red rubber. They were cutting off the hands of our kids in Congo for not producing enough rubber for bicycle tires, for companies that some of y'all, Dunlop and all of these other companies. That's why they called it red. So 100 years, over 100 years now, we go from red rubber to conflict minerals. People stood up back then. Mark Twain, W.B. Du Bois, other folks stood up. This could be your time to stand with us now as well. Get out there, raise hope for Congo. Let's not have comparative struggle. My struggle is more than all of that. Let's build this work together. That's how we're going to win. And we will win if we do not give in. I'll have a link to the album and everything down there as well if you want to check it out. Peace.